Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis updated commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodity ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go. And if you have any questions with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into these individual sectors, individual companies. I do training sessions as well. We've got a lot loaded onto the website already, and we still have the discount coupon code that is active, LEAP, if you're interested. Let's dive in. Let's take a look. We've got the dollar here, starting with the DXY, and it still looks strong to move higher, at least from all of what I see in the charts here. Break out of the downtrend line, still looking fantastic to move higher. And I would suspect that interest rates will accompany the DXY move to the upside as it normally does. So dollar looks pretty strong. We had slightly lower yields today. It is a bloody nose. It's a big, tall candlestick. Little profit-taking day. I call that a bloody nose. And it looks good to go higher. Higher, higher, higher. So that also is what the Fed funds basically follows is the 2-year yield. The 2-year yield is anticipating a rate hike. Yes, you heard that right, a rate hike. The 10-year yield continuing higher today, up 0.8% even after the monster move that we had yesterday. And to me, this looks pretty good for a potential move higher, nullifying this entire, potentially nullifying. We'll see if we actually close out, but if we keep going higher, it's going to nullify that pattern, which is a inverted flag pattern. And then the 30 year is also up about 1%, looking strong, feeling strong for yields moving on higher. Weakness in bond prices. TYX TNX ratio, what I follow, we are still inverted quite a bit. There we are, inverting even further. And gold's continuing to go up even though we've got rates going up and yield curve inversion. Crazy setup here, but usually, historically, when this uninverts, that's when gold goes ballistic, is when rates pull on down. But rates are going up. That may slow the move of gold a little bit, but gold sure doesn't look like it's slowing down, and we'll take a look at it here shortly. Bond prices continuing to go lower. There we are, rocketing lower as yields go higher. And then the 2 and 10 year, we had a little bit of yield curve uninversion, but we're just bouncing back and forth, guys. We're just bouncing back and forth at a very inverted curve. So gold up $40 an ounce, looking strong, closing strong. God, this thing looks almighty beast. Could the world be dumping bonds and preferring to buy gold? Sure looks like it. Sure feels like it. So gold looks incredibly strong here, rocketing higher, and today with a strong close, looks like we could continue on higher with that momentum. Silver also closing quite strong, big bullish engulfing. We've definitely cleared and broken out of this. We're at 28.50, guys. Now, we want to look to the left. There's some resistance through here that we are starting to break away from. We get a strong closing, much above from where we are at today. We could launch. We could launch. So we're getting through this last reminiscence of resistance. There is some resistance up here as well in the 30s, but if we can clear the 30s here, which is totally possible with some time, maybe we do a rocket launch at some point. But it looks real strong today. Momentum's to the upside. We have a nice closing. I really like the closing. Platinum also, my boy Platty. So what I see in platinum is a squeeze. So this is your 3-hump consolidation. We've broken out of it. And then we've been squeezing. Like this is just building energy. This is a big coil that's all coiled up, ready to just rip. So my boy Platy, it's about to do a run forest run. We've got a nice strong candlestick today, up about 2%, beating gold and beating silver, which is good. And we're starting to break through that downtrend line. It's looking pretty strong. Let's hope we can get into and break some of these areas up here where we start to make first a higher high and then break through the downtrend line and stay above it. And I know a lot of people like the 1050 level with some resistance going across here at about 1050. We break that, see you, wouldn't want to be you. Palladium didn't fare as well as the other ones, but it's still holding in there. A little bit of a down day today, down $6 an ounce. This one does trade counter to a lot of the other sectors, and right now, I would say platinum's more in favor than palladium. And with the substitution that's been going on, a lot of people are favoring platinum because of the deficits coming up in the future. XAU to gold ratio, we are still holding in there. We had a really good day with the metals, and the gold and silver mining companies were just a slightly under gold itself. But we've broken through that trend line that I've been waiting to break through. And it looks like we're probably going to get a weekly close here that looks pretty solid here. So I think this could be the beginning of a very big move for the gold and silver mining companies. CRB index down a little bit. I know oil was down just a little bit. It does look like we want a little bit of a relief pullback or maybe a consolidation sideways. That could be in store. Maybe a little bit of a pullback there in the CRB index. But medium term, we're still cruising higher. CRB to S&P 500, a little bit of underperformance today with crude oil down and the stock market up. Keep in mind that yields are going up. That generally favors oil and commodities versus the S&P 500. So I do think over time, commodities are going to work their way on up. GDX up 2.3%. It's looking quite strong today, and we'll see if we can bust through this last resistance level that we've got. It looks good. GDXJ also looking fantastic, broken out, ready to rip, is ripping. And we had a nice strong day today. Looks really good. SILJ's same thing, strong day today. We've broken out of the trend line pattern, and we're just ripping. Rip it. Rip it, Lotto, rip it. Crude oil down 0.7%. It's just hanging in there, guys. Looks like we're consolidating, doing something here. Just waiting for maybe another report to come out at some point. We might see a little bit of weakness. We might consolidate sideways for a little while. Wait for inventory levels to draw down even further this summer. But we are between driving season at this moment. So we're just hanging out. We're chilling. TTF gas isn't chilling, though. That thing's ready to rip. 8.6% up today for TTF nat gas. Looks pretty strong. Unfortunately, the Henry Hub did not feel that same type of enthusiasm and sentiment. Down 6% for natural gas in America, and we've been moving sideways here. Got my awesome line in here. Maybe that's not correct. I thought I'd follow TTF, but looks like we're just chilling and relaxing here before a move higher. Maybe it takes this summer. We'll see. XOP, yeah, you know me. It is also not really selling off. We have a nice little wick at the bottom there. If the sellers are going to push it, I mean, why aren't buyers coming in and buying and pushing this thing back up towards the end of the day? So I think the buyers are there. I think it's just waiting for oil to firm up, and then we'll see if this consolidation breaks on out eventually. OIH also down a little bit. We do have a wick at the bottom. It does mean there's some buyers coming in there, and it's looking okay. I wouldn't say it's something I'd go and buy a bunch up here. That's down here. But we're cruising, and it does look like it's consolidating to some degree. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust still looks good in my opinion. Big bullish engulfing. I call that a little bloody nose. It was still up today. That does look good to go higher for the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. It looks okay. And URA is looking good. Nice 1.88% up day to day. Working its way on up. Uranium 2.5%, bouncing off that support level yesterday and maintaining a little bit of momentum today. So that looks good. Broken the downtrend flag pattern. So it looks good. And URNJ looks good today too, 2.2% up above all this resistance support. Still looks good, guys, and it looks like we've broken out of this flag pattern to the upside. Let's hope the momentum can continue. That's what I'll say there. TAN doesn't like the increasing interest rates, just moving sideways, more grindage. We've got copper. This still looks good. Small selling candlesticks, no big selling pressure move. Generally, I call that, just consolidation flag patterns where it stair steps higher. It looks good, guys. COPX down just a teeny bit, but not much selling pressure. Momentum upward. Still looks good for copper and copper ETF. Lithium up a little bit underneath resistance, squeezing up perhaps. So squeezing up. You've got REMX also up right up against resistance, and we'll see if that can hold above it. These seem to be very sensitive to interest rates. Interest rates going down, they're okay, but when interest rates start to go up, these tend to go down. The S&P 500 was up today. I guess I had to call in. They said, we need to get the plunge protection team in here and buy some stock, all right? So they bought some stock up. SPX is up today. Same with the NASDAQ up. I told you that plunge protection team's got to come in there, got to buy some bonds up, stabilize the bond market, and start pushing the composite index, which is the NASDAQ and the S&P. We got to get Biden some votes. Let's buy them up. Let's go. KRE, yeah, we did have a little bit stronger yields, and on the 10-year at least. Here we are just chilling down there. Affordability does have an impact on how many loans they do make. Emerging markets moving sideways, but it has a slight tinge of upward bias. So still looking good for emerging markets. It's really wanting a weak dollar, though. If we can get a weak dollar, that's going to launch this thing. XHB, a little bit of a pullback here. Yeah, still momentum's to the downside. It's not turned yet. Higher rates, lower home builder pricing here is what my guess would be. Moo down a little bit, but I think this is going to continue higher. This has broken its pattern to the upside. It'll work its way on up because of the pattern break. We're also breaking out of this big pattern here, and this is just a retest here. The retest of the breakout, and that generally bounces higher. Iron ore, it's holding on. It's looking steady. I think we're going to try to work our way on up over time. Or sideways. Maybe it's got a little bit more sideways action basing out, work off some of this downside momentum. Nickel up 3.4%. This is definitely going to go higher. This looks fantastic for nickel. I like it a lot. Aluminum down a little bit today. Still looking good. Momentum's to the upside. We're coming out of a base too. This is a base all through here. That's energy, baby. Energy, and I think we'll continue higher. Baltic Dry Index, right at support. Iron ore is basing out. I think Baltic will base out here, right on support here. There's a little candlestick that you can barely see it. We've got Newcastle coal up 1.54%. We're trying to break through the downtrend resistance. That's the downtrend here, that line. And you can see how this is poised, where you've got all these big buying pressure candlesticks and then the small selling pressure. This thing's coiled. It's ready to go. It's ready to rip. Let's rip it, baby. That's Newcastle Coal Futures. BTC up 1.14%. What is going on here? Let me draw this with a little bit more legitness. Right against resistance, we've got this squeezage here, kind of. We did enter from the bottom side into it. 1, 2, 3, and then we break, right? Well, looks like it. We'll see if it goes. Ethereum's down a little bit. It's also got some bumpage and grindage here. Let's put it like this. That might be drawn a little bit too tight, but we'll see. So 1, 2, and maybe we've got something more on the lines of this. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. We might have one last little dip, and then maybe it rips to the upside. SMCI, we're going up 3.16. Total crap looking setup. I will say that, but somehow we were going up. Maybe the plunge protection team's in here doing the anti-plunge. And here is NVIDIA. So we originally got some selling pressure in this beast. 3 bearish candlesticks, and somehow NVIDIA's pulling out of it. Up 4% today. A little broken downtrend line there, boy. I like it. No, I don't like NVIDIA. I'm not going to buy it, guys. But that's what we see so far, and it looks like that is holding together. So that's what I've got for today. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. We do have a question and answer session coming up at 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Saturday. If you're interested, show on up. This weekend, I'm going to be talking about emotions, psychology, making mistakes. They're all kind of intertwined. What the biggest risks are. And we'll cover that, and I'll share my opinions there and kind of how I mitigate, we'll say, some of the risks that are out there. So usually yourself is your biggest risk. We'll talk about that. But that's all I've got for today, guys. And again, if you want to sign up to the website, use that LEAP coupon code, 50% off your first month if you want to try it. And then you can get a bigger discount on the yearly membership. If you're a monthly member and want to go to a yearly, you can use that coupon code and get a bigger discount. All right, guys. We'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.